good start today. You know, this is a big game, as everybody knows, and we're playing an excellent football team. And so what we have to do is have a great week of preparation, and then go out Saturday and play our best game. And so that's our focus. And I thought this morning was a good start. I like where we are emotionally and mentally, and I think they're excited to play this game. It's always a fun game when you play your crosstown rival, and it's great to have something at stake. I think. You know, I know when I got here, that's one of the things I heard is, you know, it'd be great to have this game be a game that really has meaning and consequence in the Pac-12, if not nationally, and I think that this one does. So it just adds to it. It adds to what's already an amazing rivalry.
With all that meaning, do you try to downplay some of the emotions that are connected with the rivalry this week?
I just think it's important that we you know, follow our mantra of, you know, don't listen to the noise, and control what we can control. And that's how we practice and how we prepare, you know, our emotional state, and not getting caught up in the hype. And I think that we've matured to the point as a football team this year where we're much better equipped right now to handle that than maybe we were earlier in the year. I think maybe we learned our lesson, and so I think that's a positive.
Jim, how much is this about UCLA versus yourself, your potential, as opposed to the opponent, just you guys being the best you all can? I mean, you're setting the bar for yourselves. Forget about your playing.
You know what? Were you in our meetings? Because that's kind of what we always talk about. I mean, you can't ignore the significance of this game. You can't ignore the significance of the rivalry, and what it potentially can mean for both teams. But you know, our goal every week is to come out and play against our standard. You know, we have a saying, and it's. You know, you prepare for your opponents, but on Saturdays you play against your standard, and so I think that's you hit the nail on the head. That's what we're trying to do every week.
Yeah, it seems like for the program, it's just oblivious of anything else. It's just where the program is headed.
Yeah, and I think we're headed in the right direction. You know, I think that maybe early in the year, I don't think that we got ahead of ourselves. I think that the outside world got ahead of ourselves and didn't realize really that the youth on this team. You know, I was talking to a couple NFL scouts today, and we only play 5 seniors. And I think because Brett was so prominent, and because we finished up strong last year, that people put us in a place that maybe we didn't deserve to be yet. And now I think, you know, we've worked ourselves in a position where maybe, you know, if we continue to stay focused and play well, we'll see where we deserve.
Now, as much as you preach not listening to noise, you think some of the kids early on heard the noise? These are just kids. I mean,
I think it's conceivable. Yeah, as much as you preach it, there's so much out there. You know, it's different than when you and I and you, the rest of you guys. Well, you, the rest of you guys are young. Well, you and Rip back there, of course. They didn't even have cell phones.
For us AARP people, that's
yeah.
But we didn't have as much access to information, and these kids have so much access to information. And as much as you ask them to, you know, ignore what's going on out there, they read it, they hear it, they see it.
And do you think they've adjusted now to that? Do you think they truly have?
I do believe that they have, though. I really do. Just the things that I've heard them say, the way they've focused in meetings, their mindset, at least from what I can read, and I think I know them pretty well at this point, I do believe that they have adjusted, and I'm proud of them for that. You know, I'm proud that they didn't let it get away from them, especially when we suffered those 2 losses. I'm proud that they were able to reorganize and regroup and get back on point.
Does having dealt with all that national hype, you know, help with, you know, this week is just a rivalry almost after what they've been hearing earlier on this season?
Probably helps, yeah. It probably helps, you know, being put on a pedestal so early and having all that attention. But still, regardless of all that, you know, this is such a great game. You know, I didn't realize, as I've told you guys before, they just decided they want to start jackhammering right now.
Right when you talk.
Yeah, I know. I told them, right when you see my lips move, you guys jackhammer. That way, if I say something stupid, we can drown it out.
You're doing what you said.
Yeah.
I mean, if.
Yeah, when. I didn't understand the significance of this rivalry until I got here, you know. And regardless of anything else, it's so meaningful to everybody in this city. And so it just makes it really special. I mean, it's a special game to play in, and it's for me, it's part of it is the pageantry and seeing both teams out there with their home uniforms on, and so even though, yeah, you know, there was a lot of national exposure early, it's still a little bit different. You know, it's different and it's neat.
When you said not understand the total significance, did that include things that are said that get out there and how they're portrayed in this?
No,
about this
I don't know.
rivalry?
I had never, I'd been involved in this game one time and I was like 12 years old. So it was not part of my orbit. It wasn't something, that I thought about a lot. So I just, until you experience something, you don't know what it means.
Red Sanders, the coach, then? When you were 12?
Yeah. No, Dick Vermeil, actually. Yeah, it's the year my dad was here.
Now that you know about the game, how much does a win over USC validate your season?
I don't think that you want to put all your eggs in that basket ever. I'm not a guy that really ever talks about must-wins or. I think that every week you have to go out and you have to perform and you have to validate what you did the week before. If you're fortunate enough to get a win on one Saturday, you have to go out the next Saturday and win again to validate what you did the previous week. And then the next week you have to validate it again. And that's what's part of being a consistently good football team. And that's what we're striving to be.
In your opinion, how are these 2 wins or 2 years against USC changed the recruiting landscape?
I don't know that it has. So many of the young men, the kids in this area grew up as USC fans and that 9-game winning streak. And, I don't know if it's changed it or not. I mean, we go head-to-head against them with certain kids, and certain kids they recruit that we don't, and vice versa. So, there's so much talent in this area. There really is. It's a tremendous hotbed of high school talent that I think everybody is going to get their share. I think what's really neat to see is local kids wanting to stay home and either go to their school or to our school. I think that's what's going to be good for our city and good for football in this area.
Do you think a 3rd win in a row could do anything to change a narrative that, say, 9 wins had already established before that?
I don't know. I don't think too much about that. I just really concentrate on what we're trying to get done this week. I don't think that for us as a team, for me as a coach, and I'm sure, I can't speak for them, but what happened in the past doesn't matter towards what's going to happen on Saturday. Like I said to start this thing off, is we've got to have a great week of preparation, and we've got to go play our best football on Saturday.
So after being in this rivalry for 1 year, what does it kind of mean to you this week?
Oh, it means everything. It's battle for LA. Last year I didn't really gain the whole grasp of it. I just knew it was obviously a big game, but going through a whole off season and leading up to now, it's everything.
What made you realize last year that kind of just the significance of the rivalry?
Just the whole week leading up to it, just how competitive it is, all the trash talking, and then after the game, just that feeling, celebrating with your teammates after beating your crosstown rival, and it's just it carries into the off season as well. Just everybody's yeah, good job beating SC, good job beating SC. So it's I don't know, it just goes all the way up to now.
You were once an SC commit. Take me back to that kind of recruiting process and UCLA versus USC and what that game meant and all that kind of stuff.
Take you back then?
Yeah. Back then, what it all meant. You basically considering both the schools and stuff, and
to be honest, it was neutral then. To be honest, there was no favorites. I don't know if I was committed. Was I committed on the game?
No.
I was decommitted by them? Okay, yeah. It was a mutual thing, so it's not you don't really choose a side when you watch a team because you're being recruited by both coaches.
So does the outcome of this game have any impact on kind of recruits' decisions and everything?
Yeah, for sure. In a positive way. Everybody wants to play for the winning team, the front runner in LA.
What have you seen out of that interior of SC's line?
They're great. They're very physical. They're massive. For how big they are, they're very athletic as well. So it's going to be battle in the trenches this week.
How does Buck Allen compare to some of the other backs you've seen this year?
No, he's great. He's great. Buck Allen, I'd say. I'm trying to think of a comparison. I can't really find a comparison because he's more of a finesse back. The backs that we've been seeing recently are like Shaq Thompson. Devontae Booker, they hit the hole, their power all the way. Where he's finesse, he's he's an NFL type back. He sees a hole, he hits it, then he'll finesse you. He's very good at breaking tackles as well.
A little bit's been made of their offensive line. They kind of do a lot of low blocking, a lot of cut blocking. What do you do as a defensive lineman to deal with that? How can you adjust technically to kind of deal with that?
You just got to play the cut. When they hit you, got to hit the helmet down. Simple as that. You just can't get cut. It's one of those things. There's no technique for it. Really around it, you don't get cut.
With Allen, is it unusual to see a guy that's more of a finesse guy, even though I think he's like 220 pounds, 6'1"?
I mean, yeah, I mean it is, but it works for him. Whatever works for him. I think he's leading the Pac-12 in rushing, so whatever works for him, it's been working the whole season. So
feel good. Feel really good. The bye week really helped.
What does the USC game mean to you?
Being a Southern California kid, it means everything. Just the week leading up to the game, it's everything I thought it would be. And experiencing it last year, just dream come true.
Now, did you grow up as a SC fan?
I watched them, never really a fan though, because my mom went to UCLA, so it's kind of a household thing.
How much did you hear about that though, going to modern day, being one of the few UCLA?
Probably every day. Every day I got some joke about SC or some, hint I should go to SC, but it was, it was fun.
Is there anything you learned differently about, I know you grew up kind of knowing about it, but do you understand it more when you're actually a part of it?
Yes, because all the activities leading up to the week, you see, how serious people take it, and for some people it's bigger than others, and still to this day, months after the game, people are coming up to you, congratulating you, thanks for beating SC. It's always nice to win that one, so it just puts it in perspective for you.
Growing up when they're so dominant, how much do you think, you guys winning 2 in a row, how much do you think a third win might do to kind of change that narrative that you'd grown up with, that USC was kind of the dominant school?
I mean, I don't know if it changed anything, but we're just trying to go out there and play our best on Saturday.
What do you think of how Mossy did in your absence the previous couple weeks?
I'm proud of him. I mean, he stepped up big for the team, and that's what they needed him.
How's it going to feel for you to eventually get your first catch against USC? I don't think you had one last year.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll find out. But I'm excited for the game, and I'm just trying to help the team right now.
How much you guys have to balance those emotions, especially SoCal guys? Obviously, there's a lot on the line in this game beyond the rivalry.
Well, Coach Mora really helps you with that. I mean, he tells you, stay poised, stay focused, and just play your game. Don't let the other outside things affect you. So, I mean, he helps a lot. But then again, there's always that emotion where you wanna to make a play, make a statement. But then again, you have to realize it's a team game, and then we'll play from there.
I know Coach Mora was kind of saying that you guys are almost more playing against yourselves this week, these last few weeks, than you are playing against USC. So.
Yeah, because I mean, everything that's happened, the outside noise and everything, we just had to tune it out and start playing to the Bruins standard again, and I believe that's what we did.
Does it feel easier dealing with the rivalry week hype after, for months hearing all the national title, playoff hype and stuff like that?
There's nothing like rivalry week, nothing like it. I mean, they can talk all they want about the national stuff, but when it comes to crosstown rivalries, there's nothing like it.
Caleb, last game you didn't get to play too much. You want to talk to us about that a little bit?
Football's an emotional game. I let my emotions get to me, but I'm looking forward to this game this week. So.
Is there almost a little bit more motivation for you, knowing that you weren't able to play as much in the last one?
I won't say it's more motivation. My motivation is my teammates and going out there and being great every week. And I think offensive line, we're doing a really good job the past few weeks. We've been stepping up, we're kind of clicking and gelling, and so that's what I'm focused more on right now. Is just keeping that charisma going.
When you have a guy like Leonard Williams who can take over a game by himself on the defensive line, how important is it that the line is gelling like that?
It's very important. I think the most important thing for us is just go out there and do our job. And when you do your job, we don't worry about one individual player and one individual guy. I think it helps us, it benefits us as line, because we're 5 guys and he's 1 guy, and we just got to go out there, we got to do our job, stay focused, and he's going to make plays because he's a good player. We just got to weather the storm and keep doing our job. So.
What is it that he does so well?
He's good with his hands. He's a talented guy. They have all this stuff on him, and I'm watching tape on him, and he's a really good player. So like I said, we just got to go out there and got to do our job.
It didn't look like they blitzed a ton prior to this last game, and then they blitzed a little bit more. What are you guys going into the game expecting from them pressure-wise?
We're just expecting everything. Coach Mora always says expect the unscouted looks, and so we prepare for everything. He prepares us for every situation, every scenario, and so we work on it at practice, and then in the game we're ready for whatever they bring.
How difficult is it to check your emotions and heading into a game like this?
Now you can count in the moment.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that difficult anymore. I'm more mature than I was when I first got here. I've learned a lot from Coach Mora, from the staff, and my teammates. And, I kind of feed off of them now. And, my emotions, they can always keep me in check. Jake and Scott and all those guys out there, so I'm not worried about it.
How much do you guys have to kind of downplay that stuff and downplay the rivalry a little bit, just knowing that there's a lot otherwise on the line in a game like this?
I don't think we have to downplay it at all. It is what it is. It's a big game, and everybody knows that. We just have to go out there and treat it like any other game and do our job and don't let the moment get too big for us.
With the penalties this season, how much do you think is due to maybe emotion or maybe being a little undisciplined at times, and versus how much is just the pace of the game? Because it seems like you guys have more penalties when you're facing an up-tempo offense or an up-tempo or a more aggressive defense.
I think the penalty issue stems more from a lack of discipline and over-aggression, because we're a very aggressive group, offensively and defensively. We like to get after it. I mean, we get it from Coach Mora, and I think that when you mix that with lack of discipline on some plays, that's when you get the silly penalties. Stuff like holdings and, like PIs are going to happen, of course, in a football game. That's just what it is. The stuff we got to eliminate are the false starts and the offsides and the illegal formations and stuff like that. And so I think we're doing a good job the past 2 weeks of eliminating those. We just got to keep being on our P's and Q's.